Emotions are racing, and people pretend to be calm despite fluctuations. Is Bitcoin really stable? ETF with a massive influx of 524 million. Can Ethereum break through its historical high in one go? Wall Street tycoons slammed the table and shouted Bitcoin 250,000. Let Layer 2 perform a money-making trick. Institutional hoarding of coins is going crazy. The total amount of corporate currency hoarding exceeds 100 billion, retail investors shouted. Can you please leave me some? Coinbase spending money to support his own son. USDC can catch up USDT. ETFs favorable trend and the support of King of Call orders. SOL leave 300. Is the US dollar just one step away from success?
Wednesday, August 13th, BitcoinTV English channel. Where is the coin chain? I'm Michael, starting with the 24-hour cryptocurrency headlines. Today's CMC Fear and Greed Index climbed again, reaching 63, 3 points higher than yesterday and 52 a week ago. Sentiment is warming faster than first love. It's just one step away from the monthly high of 68. While it's still some distance from last November's 88, the smell of greed is already starting to creep in. As of 12:30 p.m. today, Bitcoin was fluctuating around $119,600, with the price steadily soaring as if it were on the accelerator. Looking at volatility, New Edge data shows that the 30-day and 60-day historical volatility are only 1.17% and 1.39% respectively. Bitbank's 60-day volatility is 1.27%. In other words, while sentiment is surging, volatility is still feigning composure. The market resembles a veteran, outwardly calm but internally surging. Back in mid-March, the panic index was just 15 and the entire market was trembling. Now, fueled by institutional buying and capital inflows, Bitcoin and Ethereum are on a tear, with sentiment and prices playing off each other. But remember, history has repeatedly proven that when the greed index exceeds 70, short-term investors tend to pull in their money. If it reaches 80, there's likely to be a sudden halt. We're not afraid of greed building slowly, but we're afraid of it pushing all the way to the ceiling. Yesterday, Ethereum's market capitalization soared to $557.56 billion, a new high since November 2021. The price peaked at $4,625.28, a 7.9% single-day increase, with trading volume exceeding $56.2 billion. Both capital and sentiment surged. The US spot Ethereum ETF attracted $524 million, with BlackRock alone absorbing $319 million and Fidelity not far behind, accumulating $145 million. Institutional investors have been building positions for a week. An on-chain wallet affiliated with the Ethereum Foundation sold 4,095 ETH at a high of $4,578, exchanging them for approximately 18.75 million DAI. The holder had held these assets since 2017, when they were worth only $4.75 million. With the Fear and Greed Index now at 63, capital and prices are mutually reinforcing, and the all-time high of 4,892 may be just around the corner. But don't forget, this combination of concentrated capital and surging sentiment could bring the market to a screeching halt at any moment. Data shows that the Ethereum Reserve Company currently holds 2.95% of the total supply, and major Ethereum spot ETFs hold another 5.13%, which adds up to over 8%. The meaning is simple. For every 100 Ethereum in the market, 8 are firmly held by them. ETF. With the help of the huge influx of funds and the overwhelming emotions, Ethereum has been on a roll recently. But don't be too happy. The liquidation map has turned red. The dollar is buried there, 5.14. If a short position of $1 billion is breached, there may be a violent shock, and 4,550. The dollar is even scarier below, where long orders are liquidated as high as $10.57 billion. If it hits here, the stop-loss wave will push the decline even more sharply. At present, the long orders are piled up high, and the leverage is increased sharply. It is inevitable that there will be ups and downs on the way up. I really want to hit 4,892. The US dollar hits a record high 5,000. The dollar mark, we have to watch the leverage first, 4,600. The dollar support is firm. Please like and follow us to sort out the latest developments in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and mining circles within 24 hours. Click the small bell to join the channel and become a member. You can receive the Member Wealth password from Monday to Friday. 12.2. The market opened to the $10,000 mark, setting a new all-time high. Although it retreated slightly afterwards, this surge ignited market sentiment, with funds pouring in and high leverage positions being shaken off. Even more exciting is that Galaxy Digital raised its value in one day. $37 billion worth of Bitcoin were transferred to the exchange, scaring short-term traders into immediately selling 26,100 Bitcoins, most of whom ran away with losses. As a result, this wave of selling pressure triggered a domino effect in the derivatives market, with the liquidation amount of options and perpetual contracts soaring to 5.31. Although there is pressure at a high level, it also seems to be accumulating energy for the next round of charge.
I think the 200 to 250,000 for Bitcoin still makes sense because that would still only value it at 25% of the size of the gold market.
Okay.
So I think digital gold means Bitcoin should be worth over $1 million per Bitcoin, and it could happen in the next few years.
Despite market volatility, Fundstrat co-founder Tom Lee remains bullish on Bitcoin. He predicts that Bitcoin will rise to $200,000 to $250,000 by the end of 2025, driven by increased institutional holdings, supply tightening due to the halving, and stable inflows from ETFs. The pre-sale has raised $8.3 million, with an additional $250,000 raised in the past 24 hours.
Bitcoin surge isn't just driven by price. The leverage market is accelerating, institutions are buying aggressively, and the derivatives market is experiencing a chain reaction, creating a roller coaster of volatility. Tom Lee's promise of reaching $250,000 by the end of the year has given the bull market a shot in the arm. The main chain market has fueled the popularity of promising stocks like Bitcoin Hyper, whose impressive technology and practical applications have naturally made them attractive to investors. Looking to boost your wallet in this bull market? Keeping an eye on Bitcoin's long-term trajectory and selecting a few high-growth, innovative tokens may be the fastest way to achieve profitability. The trend of corporate hoarding of Bitcoin is intensifying. Strategy is the capitalist king of Takeshi of the cryptocurrency world, holding over 600,000 Bitcoins, representing over 3% of the market. With an average price of $71,777, they've already made a killing and are still increasing their holdings. GameStop has also jumped on the bandwagon, directly buying 4,710 Bitcoins for their reserves. Pharmaceutical companies, advertising agencies, and other businesses are all jumping on the bandwagon, some to hedge against inflation, others to boost stock prices and deter short sellers. Metaplanet and SmarterWeb have also recently made significant investments in this craze.
Metaplanet spent $61.4 million to purchase 518 Bitcoins, bringing its total holdings to 18,113. At current prices, this is approximately $2.15 billion, with an average price of $101,911 per coin. Smarter Web Company invested $35.2 million to purchase 295 Bitcoins, bringing its total holdings to 2,395. This investment cost $264.8 million, and the current valuation is approximately $284.8 million, resulting in a net profit of approximately $20 million. In July alone, the company purchased over 1,500 Bitcoins, boosting its global ranking among publicly listed companies from 36th to 23rd. With plans to break into the top 20 within weeks,
Well, it's obviously very humbling that people are looking to emulate us in the same way that Michael Saylor and Strategy have been very inspiring to our own journey. You just need time to pass. People need to see more examples of Bitcoin Treasury strategy working out, and obviously seeing Strategy's performance, seeing our performance.
It's undeniable that this wave of corporate activity is truly impressive. Cryptocurrency reserves have surpassed $100 billion, representing nearly 4% of Bitcoin's circulating supply. This is rapidly climbing the global asset allocation ladder and is expected to drive a wave of companies into the market, disrupting the market landscape. However, some are wary. Crypto analyst Willy Woo warns that the US might one day follow suit, as it did in 1971, by directly nationalizing corporate Bitcoin reserves and potentially centralizing and controlling them. As for how this corporate hoarding drama will play out, we'll have to wait and see.
The fund size remains a mystery. Coinbase this wave can help USDC grab DeFi Highlands, GSR, Maelstrom together. UPEXI will become Solana. Is it a reservoir?
USDC is a joint venture between Coinbase and Circle, but the dominant stablecoin remains USDT, with a market capitalization of $164.6 billion, significantly surpassing USDC. However, USDC has significant ambitions, relying on compliance and transparency to surge ahead, poised to take over the top spot. Its popularity is largely thanks to Coinbase's stablecoin bootstrapping fund in 2019, which invested $1 million each in Compound and DYDX. As a result, USDC became a leading DeFi currency within a year of its launch. Now that Coinbase has once again endorsed USDC, it seems the battle for dominance is far from over.
I think now that we have clear legislation, we're going to see the Fortune 500 really start to adopt stablecoins. We've started to see this a little bit already, even with the news that this was, going to pass in the near future. Coinbase just launched an integration with Shopify, for instance, and we've seen announcements from Walmart and Amazon, and almost every Fortune 500 company is now coming in and starting to look at stablecoin payments.
Coinbase recently announced the relaunch of its stablecoin bootstrapping fund, first launched in September 2019, to boost USDC liquidity in popular and emerging DeFi protocols. Initially supported platforms include Ethereum lending platforms Aave and Morpho, as well as Camino and Jupiter from the Solana ecosystem. Operated by Coinbase Asset Management, the fund aims to enable users to earn stable interest rates across various DeFi protocols. The size of the fund has not yet been announced.
Coinbase's relaunch of its fund is frankly a scramble to gain market share with its proudly owned USDC. Their goal is clear: to narrow the gap with USDT. The total locked-in value in the DeFi space currently stands at $165.4 billion. Coinbase has selected Aave and Jupiter, two top blockchain platforms, for cross-chain distribution, clearly aiming to help USDC establish a stronger presence in more scenarios. For the DeFi community, the added capital of these major platforms will undoubtedly lead to a more vibrant ecosystem, making it easier for new gameplay and models to emerge. Next, it remains to be seen whether USDC can capitalize on this momentum and expand its reach. UPEXI, the company behind the Solana reserve, recently made a major move, establishing an advisory board and inviting BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes as its first member. Their mission is clear: to develop strategy, increase exposure, and secure additional funding for the Solana reserve. In fact, Hayes' family office, Maelstrom, had already invested in UPEXI several months ago. This firm specializes in cryptocurrencies and digital assets. When it comes to Solana, Hayes is a die-hard fan, repeatedly calling for a bullish outlook. including a $300 price target in March of this year.
UPEXI holds 2,518 SOL, valued at $381 million, with a MNAV ratio of 1.8. At the end of April, the company announced its transformation into the Solana reserve. This investment was led by cryptocurrency market maker GSR, with participation from several well-known crypto venture capital firms, including Delphi Ventures and Maelstrom. These investors locked in SOL at an average discount of $141.10 per coin. Following the announcement, UPXI's stock price rose 18.51% yesterday.
With King of Calls Arthur Hayes leading the charge, UPEXI is sure to attract attention. Meanwhile, Solana-focused DFDV just released its second quarter earnings report, reporting earnings of 84 cents per share and $1.97 million in revenue, demonstrating considerable financial strength. As of August 11th, they held over 1.3 million SOL, valued at nearly $250 million. Their staking business alone generates approximately $63,000 in SOL daily. Coupled with the momentum of the Solana ETF, a surge to $300 for SOL may be just around the corner.
The richest man on earth is not worried about his debt. The U.S. Treasury Department announced that the national debt has exceeded $37 trillion, equivalent to an average debt of $110,000 per person. Netizens commented, "How can this be called a national debt? This is the American Development Plan, crowd-funded by the entire universe." All-in Artist, top cash-out winner. The Pump.Fun team sold 86,000 SOL in one go, earning a whopping 16.28 million USDC, while the leakers were cursing. Whereas the structure? They were secretly jotting down the address for their next follow-up. A rich woman in Gangnam District's bitcoins confiscated. The Seoul tax office is teaming up with the 5 major exchange companies to raid their properties for tax collection, even going so far as to seize Bitcoin wallets. Netizens commented, "It turns out the blockchain bearer claim is fake. Only my poverty is real. Liquidity is the hacker's ATM." Hackers used a 3-pronged strategy of adding to the pool, pumping the market, and then draining the funds to easily steal 58 bitcoins. Project owners were left in tears while retail investors sneered, "I know this script well. Next time it's my turn to flee, right? Ruble devaluation too rapid? Try Bitcoin for groceries." Belarus slams the table. "Economic sanctions are nothing. We'll just legalize crypto." Netizens quipped, "I suggest the president's salary be paid in Bitcoin instead. It will definitely prevent inflation."
Okay, that's the main content of today's program. Our channel focuses on valuable news in the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and mining circles, including news information and in-depth special reports. If you think our channel is valuable, you are welcome to forward and follow us. You can also become our member and receive the member wealth code from Monday to Friday. Let's get rich together and add a zero to our assets in the bull market. See you tomorrow.